Hey everybody, it's Rob here. I wanted to make a quick overview of the strongest Barbarian builds for the upcoming Season 8, starting in just a few days. So we have seen a lot of changes coming from the PTR into the live game, and we have seen a ton of buffs, in particular to, the really physical attacks of the Barbarian, to the core skills, to Whirlwind, to Double Swing, to Mighty Throw, to Upheaval, and we have seen some nerfs for Earthquake. So a lot of people have asked me, how is the Barbarian looking for the season? And we'll talk about the ranking, within the Barbarian class now, and then we'll talk about the overall ranking a little bit. Obviously, I'm going to have a detailed guide on Whirlwind, on Mighty Throw, and also on the full tier list coming up. But we only, for now, are going to be looking at the Barbarian tier list. So this is all a best guess, guys. We haven't played the final patch, and there's still a couple mechanics that have a bit of a question mark, but overall, I'm pretty confident in this ranking, and I've played almost all the builds on the PTR and tested them. I'll show you some footage here as well. So unfortunately, I don't think there's any S-tier builds on the Barb. There's other classes like the Necromancer that are a little bit on the stronger side. However, this is only the case for pit pushing, and we have some really cool and really viable speed farming builds with Whirlwind, and we have a really strong boss kill builds for the new layer, the new boss system, the Mighty Throw, and this is our probably the highest DPS build that the Barbarian has. It actually got buffed, contrary to what was said in the dev stream. We can see here that the developer node here has a bug fix for Warrior's Mighty Throw. So this previously was additive. It's now a multiplier, but it's been nerfed to 50%. However, the developers specifically say here, this value was adjusted to a reasonable level to compensate for a bug fix made to Warrior's Mighty Throw. And it will ultimately result into heftier bonks. So that means we will do even more damage with our bonks. And I'm going to show you some footage here. Look at me here. This was no boss powers, and we are absolutely one-shotting the hard T4 content. This is Belial, the hardest boss, and he just gets one-shot with the current Mighty Throw, and it has been buffed since then. And you can kind of see here, we're rocking, this is with boss powers. We're hitting for up to 5 trillion. But again, even without boss powers, you can see I don't have a single boss power slotted at the start here. And we are basically just blasting this guy here. This is a Zir, for example. We just spin for a second. Whirlwind got a new rune that gives multiplicative damage, and boom, 500 billion damage here, just with a couple buttons. And again, this was completely done without any boss powers, and it only got stronger. Shoutouts to B-Dropper, no boss powers. He made the calculation, and it looks like it's about 30% stronger than on the PTR, than in this footage here. So again, dedicated build guide is going to come out, but the planner is here. Basically, we have the new gloves here that's going to make it insanely strong, and we have the new multiplicative aspect here that makes it even stronger. And then we also have the Whirlwind rune here, Violent Whirlwind, also giving us another 35 multiplier. So this build is eating good. If you want to one-shot T4 bosses, if you want to carry your friends to those T4 bosses, this is the build to play. However, the downside is this is not really a good speed farmer. So in this sense, it's similar to the Bloodwave Necro, where you don't really have any kill speed. It takes long, and then also we are playing rotation based. You have to, do certain things in order. Again, I'm going to make a full build guide on this, but it's not really the most casual friendly build, and it's also more like a bazooka playstyle. You do one big hit, at least in this boss killer version, and then you basically do the next big hit a few seconds later. So not really the best speed farmer. If you want to do speed farming, I recommend either playing Double Swing or Whirlwind. So starting with Double Swing, in the patch, they actually added double damage here on the twin strikes, and they buffed the Double Swing itself. They reworked the runes. They made it cost only 20 Fury, and you generate 25 Fury. And they also gave it more damage. So this is getting about a double damage from this footage that you see here. And this Torment difficulty has also been scaled down. So you could look at ×4 the damage. And this was also completely without any boss powers. This is PTR footage of me playing Double Swing. I'm just going to let you see a bit here. This was the hard T4, and this T4 is going to lose triple DHP. We're going to get double damage, and we're also going to get boss powers, which can also give us double damage. So this is a pretty cool build here. See, no boss powers equipped at all in this footage, and this is Torment 4. Obviously, we do have Uber Uniques, but again, we're getting some massive buffs for this. and the Torment difficulty is going to come down, and we're going to get the boss powers. So overall, you can add like a ×8 damage to this or something, and you will be one-shotting elites in Torment 4 with this double swing build. You basically just have to click them, and you can also run a bit more in this footage. I don't really have that much double swing size yet. So you can see the double swing is not really like big size, but you can get like double the size. And no matter what they say, the size matters. So get some size, and this is going to be a cool, fast-paced build that is going to be, I think, better for farming than Mighty Throw. However, it's going to have a little bit less damage, but again, good farming advantage. And then the next build is here. What many people were excited about, and we got a ton of buffs for this. This is the Whirlwind Barbarian. There are a couple of unclear mechanics, the way it scales with the bleed, the way it scales with the gore. We don't know if this 120% is on hit or on Whirlwind tick. We don't know for sure. So we have been a bit more conservative. Whirlwind might as well be A tier, but I put it in B tier because I don't think some of those mechanics will work or will scale that well with each other, because you do have the Gore's Devastating Grasp, which basically has been reworked, but you also have the Bleed, the Furious Bleed Whirlwind rune, that we're definitely going to play in the starter version here, that does a ton of damage, but this also looks to not scale with Whirlwind ranks. So you see here, if I put more ranks into Whirlwind, the damage goes up, but the damage of the rune seems to not go up, and also it looks like the Gores cannot trigger the bleed in any way. So there's like a few question marks here. However, no matter what, this is going to be a phenomenal Spin2Win season starter, because you're going to level super fast. It's going to be really good for leveling because you don't scale with ranks. Like right from the get-go, guys, if you're just putting in, I have a leveling version. I'm going to link that below as well. The sheet is also below. I have a full leveling version here. And even if you're just like level 1, you can basically put this rune in, and it's going to give you 120% bleed damage, and it's going to give you like another 50% base. So right off the bat, you're doing like 170 damage every tick, and other skills are only like 100 or something. Like, so this is like already like twice as strong as basically everything else. And then it works, if it works per tick, it's going to be even crazier. And in the beginning, you know, you don't have that much crit chance, and you don't really scale the crit with the bleed anyway. So this is going to be very strong right from the start. And this is maybe a build that I'm going to level with. So that's like one of the two options. And I think you will also be able to do Torment 4. However, if you do want to push the pits, if you want to do like high pits, Whirlwind will still struggle against single targets. And again, we don't know the full mechanics. So you can definitely do T4 with this, but you will not be able to do like super high pits, I think. We will test the mechanics once the season is live, and then I'll have an update for you. But Spin2Win will definitely work. It's going to be decent season starter. It's going to be decent for leveling. You're just going to struggle a bit in the end game. But we do have the armory feature in the game. So one of my plans could be you can play Whirlwind for farming, and whenever you want to do either high pits or you want to kill the bosses, you just click on the armory and you switch to Mighty Throw. And, you know, then you just look at the boss and just look at him for a second. And you also have Whirlwind here, right? Because the Whirlwind buffs the Mighty Throw. And then you just spin for a second and boom, boss dies. So very chill, very good option. Whirlwind for leveling and for speed farming, and then switching to Mighty Throw, for example. Or you just play double swing all the way. That's also cool. And then you also have like some more builds here. But I don't really recommend playing any of this. Obviously, if you really want to play Hoda, it's still decent. If you want to play Rend, like you can, but it's not really that great. Same for Thorns, same for the new Steel Grasp. It's just a worse Mighty Throw version. These four are really the builds that I recommend. You can play leveling here. I'm going to make a separate leveling video, but Whirlwind is very nice for leveling, and the planners are here as well. Upheaval is also very good for leveling. Last build here I want to talk about is the Earthquake Barb. Now, I did some calculations here, and many of you know the Earthquake Barb has been heavily nerfed. Damage has been like divided by 40 or something compared to what you're used to in the season. You get a couple boss powers back, but overall, all the multipliers like Tech Rune has been cut in half, Vulcanus Aspect is gone, the bug is fixed, Rumble Glyph has been cut, Executioner has been kept, and then you lose the very powerful Witch powers here, which were scaling your main stat to like crazy numbers. So you're going to lose a ton of damage basically, and you're not only going to get a few damage back. However, the Earthquake build was so strong that overall, I think it's still going to be a solid B tier, and you can still do Torment 4 with this. I'm pretty sure. We'll test it, but Obviously, it's not going to be the strongest of builds, but it's still a very comfortable. So if you liked playing Earthquake and you really don't want to switch, you can still play it. But obviously, a lot of the Barbs are a bit sad because other builds, you know, like looking at Bloodwave, for example, have not really been nerfed as heavily and still are like multiple magnitudes stronger than the Earthquake that has now been like very nerfed. However, with Whirlwind and with other stuff here, we're still going to have a ton of fun on the Barb, I think. And yeah, Whirlwind, Mighty Throw. Like, I'm still debating which class I'm going to start, but I'll definitely play Barb at some point. We get some amazing transmogs from Guts. This is not even close to it. We'll show you in some of the next videos, but there's amazing transmogs that go very well with the Barb, and I'm definitely looking forward to play Barbarian. I just don't know if I will start it, but 100% we're going to log in and play Barb at some point in the season. Hope you enjoyed, my friends. The link is below, and all my planner builds are there. And I will make dedicated builds on Mighty Throw and Whirlwind. And obviously, full tier list coming. So the reason there's no S tier is because I think this is work in progress. But some builds like Bloodwave are just stronger. Take care, my friends. GG. If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like or a comment. I'm also live on Twitch almost every day, so come and say hi.